Hello and welcome to The Drum. I'm Steve Kinane. Coming up, are the milk wars really hurting dairy farmers? Why scamming is becoming a growth industry in Australia? And why Lady Gaga is doing her na-na over breast milk ice cream. Our panel tonight, CEO of Rate City, Damien Smith, social media strategist and former advisor to Malcolm Turnbull, Tommy Tudor-Hope, and John Barron from ABC News Radio. Well, Julia Gillard has been warned that industry expects more generous compensation under the government's new carbon pricing plan than it was due to receive under Kevin Rudd's CPRS. In a piece published in The Australian today, Rio Tinto's managing director David Peever says a carbon price will be disastrous for any business that can't pass on extra costs to consumers. He argues the failure to reach a global agreement on greenhouse gas targets means Kevin Rudd's carbon plan is not an appropriate starting point for discussions in 2011. But Climate Change Minister Greg Combet says that's not true.
Perhaps Mr Peever understandably wasn't at Mexico at the Cancun conference, but the fact of the matter is that the international negotiations got back on track last December. I had the opportunity, of course, to be involved. And what it meant was that for the first time, the pledges made by all those nations under the Copenhagen Accord have been included in the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change process. That is a significant step forward.
Tommy, do Rio Tinto need more generous compensation given their profits just trebled in the last year?
Well, I guess that's something they'll come to over the next 6 months, but I think his base point is essentially correct. The negotiations or the discussions they had with Kevin Rudd in 2009 was under a totally different circumstance than it is now, especially with Copenhagen being out of the way. But I think more concern to Julia Gillard is now that she's being under attack from big business on one hand and on the unions. And this is the problem. If you announce a policy with no details, you basically